Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, it might have taken me well over a year, but I finally got an update for you regarding my very cheap Bentley Continental GT. Unfortunately, the story has all gone horribly wrong. It involves a repair bill bigger than the purchase price, a fair bit of drama, and even at one point, the threat of the car being taken away. Let me bring you up to speed with this one. I bought this Bentley just over a year ago for £5,000. Now, when it was new, it would have cost in excess of £100,000. So I thought for £5,000, I couldn't really go wrong. This was, I believe at the time, the cheapest Bentley Continental GT in the whole of the UK. It's a 2005 car. It only had 2 owners from new. It had done 120,000 miles with loads of service history. Originally, it came from Bentley Belfast, so the early history was all done there, and then it came over to England. It also had an absolutely awful blue wrap and some horrible black wheels. But more importantly, it ran like a washing machine full of bricks and bolts. There was quite an obvious misfire with it. The suspension was also knock-in, the brakes weren't great, and generally speaking, it just didn't feel like a 200-mile-an-hour Grand Tourer. I did a couple of videos with it. I even did a video where I peeled back the horrible blue wrap just to see what was underneath, and luckily, it revealed pristine paintwork. At that point, I had a decision to make. Do I continue with it and probably massively overspend, or do I cut my losses and walk away? Now, unfortunately, I made the wrong decision. Now, unfortunately, this is exactly the situation you'll find yourself in if you buy a car without doing your homework first, and this is why it's really important to do a car vertical check before you hand over any cash. There are so many cars out there with a dodgy history, you really don't know what you're buying without doing one of these checks first. And it couldn't be easier. All you need to do is go to carvertical.com and type in the reg or the VIN. It's as easy as that. It isn't just a UK thing either, it worked in 40 different countries. It doesn't take long to generate the report, and it isn't expensive, and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. You'll save yourself 20% off each and every check you do if you type in HIGHPEAK. It's as easy as that. They've got a new feature where it scores the car out of 100, so it's quite easy to see if you're looking at multiple cars, which one's the best buy. I've been doing this job now for about 15 years, and I found it to be the best, most thorough check. So check them out today. I'll leave the link below in the video description, but all you need to do is go to carvertical.com. Right, back to my broken Bentley. Last May, my cheap Bentley was down here at my regular mechanic, and we were deciding what to do next with it. Now, my regular mechanic thought that we might have to pull the engine out. But at that moment in time, another mechanic who I've used on and off for the last decade, he was down here. And he's a VW Audi Group specialist, which of course, Bentley falls under that same umbrella. So he kindly came back down here with his trailer, took the Bentley away to his workshop, and that was that. At that point, I kind of breathed a sigh of relief because I thought the Bentley was in safe hands there. It's with a, VW Group specialist. He's confident he can tackle the job with the engine in situ without pulling it out. So I thought, well, one of these days I'm going to get a message to say, your Bentley's ready. Now, between May and November, I did check in with him occasionally just to see where we're up to with it and how much progress he was making. But I didn't really get a concrete answer. Now, to be fair, I think I'm the most patient man in the world. I know workshops are busy. Everyone's busy. I don't like to stress anyone out. I don't like to constantly chase. So I just thought I'll sit quiet and wait for the phone call. I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't a car that I was using every single day, so it wasn't like I was carless. So I just thought, there's no rush really. I'll get it fixed properly, and then one day it'll be back. Over those few months, I got a few messages from him just to say that he was trying to source parts rather than go to Bentley direct, which of course I was all in favour of. I thought it would save a bit of money. So I just left him with it. Eventually, in November, I got a message from him to say that the car would be ready for Christmas. So I thought, right, okay, perfect. Then on the 23rd of December, I got a message to say the car had been dropped off back here at my regular mechanics, and it just needed running and driving over the Christmas period just to check for any further issues. So I thought, great, that's a result really, because it's now ready for its MOT. I know I need to put a set of tyres on it. I need to book it in at Prestige wheels and have the wheels powder coated in silver. There are a few other bits and pieces, but I was generally feeling quite optimistic and quite excited. I even had grand plans for a potential road trip. But when I spoke to my regular mechanic and said, oh, I believe the Bentley's back, she said, yeah, but it still appears to have the same fault as when it was taken away. I was told that the engine light's still on and it's still running poorly. So this wasn't exactly the result I was expecting. Then on the 4th of January, I received this invoice. Ready for this? Now, if we scroll down to the bottom of this invoice, to the juicy bit, the price, my bill here on my £5,000 Bentley was, you ready for this? £6,615.51. Now, to be fair, I don't dispute that parts and labour on these kinds of cars are expensive, and I've looked up a lot of parts on this invoice, and they do seem quite reasonable. And also, I don't expect anyone ever to work for free. I'm not one of those typical YouTubers that tries to blag things for free. That isn't what I'm about. Any sort of tradesperson or specialist deserves to be paid. I would never expect anyone to work for nothing. But I just thought this was excessive given the fact it's not fixed. I just think it's quite difficult to justify an invoice of this size when the same fault is still there. The misfire is still present and the exact same warning codes are still there. I sent a message asking whether the car was fully sorted, given the fact the engine light was still on, and then we exchanged several messages then about the car, the situation, the length of time that had passed, and also the amount of the invoice. How can I put this politely? The tone of the conversation wasn't exactly what I was expecting, and at that point things got a bit tense. I explained that I was away till mid to late February, but when I'm back we'll have a discussion about it, but I'm not paying that invoice in full. That's what I said. I pride myself on the fact that I'm a fair person, but I didn't think this invoice was particularly fair because the fault was still present. My biggest issue with this bill wasn't so much the amount, because I was expecting a big bill with a £5,000 Bentley. That goes without saying. My issue though is, why spend money sorting the suspension out, the boot latch, the rear brake light, and not sort the engine out? It just seems a bit backwards really, because personally I wouldn't have spent money doing all those other jobs if I wasn't sure that I could fix the engine. I'm obviously not a mechanic here, so I'm at the mercy of specialists, but from my experience with my own project cars, I try and get the order right. There's no point polishing the wheels if you can't get them to spin. You know, there's no point me refurbishing the wheels on a car when it might have a serious engine fault. It's best to get the complicated stuff done first, rather than waste money on all the ancillaries. When I read through this invoice now, he has done a lot of work, but the most important issue is the issue with the engine. I'd have started there, I'd have done that first. I'd have made sure that that was running sweet as a nut before I did CV boots, mirror switches, bonnet catch, all that sort of stuff. It just seems like the wrong order. Now, of course, I'm faced with a massive bill and a misfiring Bentley. 3 days later, I got a call from my mechanic to say he was down here to take the car because of an unpaid invoice. Of course, this all happened while I was away over Christmas and New Year with limited phone signal, so the timing wasn't ideal. To defuse the situation, the garage paid my invoice on my behalf, which means that now my cheap £5,000 Bentley owes me £11,615.16. And I'm left with a Bentley that still has the same misfire. So that's where we're up to with it. An awful lot of time wasted, an awful lot of money wasted, and the car is more or less the same as it was this time last year. Just to be clear, this is my own personal experience with this particular car. I'm not making any wider comments on the work carried out. Faults like this can be costly and complicated. Unfortunately, this situation didn't go to plan, and I'm not sure what to do with it next. Do I cut my losses and sell it as it is, spares or repairs, or do I try and find another specialist and keep going? Let me know what you do in the comments below. Because at this point, this cheap Bentley isn't so cheap anymore. As always, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Cheers guys.